Well, hello everybody. This is Gary Albin, attorney with the Accident Recovery Team in Wichita, Kansas, having another Facebook Live session today on January 20th, 2017. We're downtown in Wichita at our offices at 221 South Topeka, and we're getting ready for some icy bad weather that's supposed to be rolling in this weekend. So first and foremost, I want to wish everybody a very safe, warm, careful weekend. Be on the lookout for other people out there that maybe aren't driving with the amount of care they should be, and take extra time and be careful. With the weather getting to be like this, unfortunately, our calls seem to increase because there are going to be more accidents on the road, there can be more accidents at work, and unfortunately, as careful as you may want to try to be, sometimes the other fella isn't as careful. And so hopefully you won't have any type of misfortune or mishaps occur, but if you do, please feel free to call in for absolutely free, completely confidential consultations at Accident Recovery Team. You can contact us at 267-TEAM, that's 267-TEAM, and as I say, we're more than happy. Myself, my law partners Todd King, Sean Brennan, and Norman Douglas are happy to provide free consultations to give you an idea of what your rights are and your options are. And hopefully, like I say, you won't need to contact us, but we're always here if we can be of any help. One thing I wanted to talk about a little bit this afternoon are some topics in workers' compensation that people frequently ask us about. And one topic that comes up quite frequently is a situation where somebody is actually working more than one job. They either have two part-time jobs that they sort of split their time evenly between, or they have sort of their main gig that they do most of the time, but then they have a second part-time job that they also earn money at. And obviously, if you get hurt at one position, that can affect not only your work there, but obviously your entire work career and work life, including work at the second job. And so the question comes up, well, if I get hurt at my first job, but it means that I'm not able to continue working, at least for a while, at both my first and my second job, does the compensation I get through the worker compensation system just reflect the lost wages from one job, or do they add the wages together in some manner from both jobs? And as is often the answer with legal questions, the real answer is it depends. And what I mean by that is Kansas law specifically says that in a situation where a person has two part-time jobs, and they don't really define whether part-time is less than 35 or 32 or 24 hours a week, but they say two part-time jobs, and if they are of a substantially similar nature. So again, that can cover a lot of different areas, but a common example would be, let's say a person works Monday through Wednesday as a waiter or as a waitress at one restaurant, and then works at a second job, a different restaurant, but serving the same type of function as a waiter or waitress at a second location on the weekends. Or let's say a person does lawn service work for one business part-time, but then also does the same type of work for a second company on the weekends or at another time during the week. In a situation like that, where it's two part-time jobs of a substantially similar nature, the statute in Kansas provides that the income or the earnings from both jobs can be added together to consider what your lost wages are. So in other words, when they figure out how much you're entitled to receive for being off of work under restrictions from a work injury, they look at the income that you were earning from both jobs. However, let's say you have a job where you're working full-time at a manufacturing plant, and you have a second job that you do, again, on the weekends or in the evenings, that's really completely different, unrelated, tending bars somewhere, or you are, again, mowing yards. Or let's say you have a full-time job and then a second part-time job, and it's really the same type of work. You're just doing it at different places at different times. Believe it or not, under Kansas law, under that situation, the wages that you receive from both jobs are not able to be added together. So the question is, or the issue is really very, very dependent on what the facts are. And there's all sorts of arguments that an experienced work comp attorney can make to try to show why you should be entitled to receive the benefit of the wages you earn from both jobs. If you're unfortunately stuck in a situation like that, by all means, what I urge you to do is contact us. Myself and Todd King are the two guys here that do work comp law at Accident Recovery Team. Again, that's 267-TEAM. And we can help you kind of figure out where you fall in this on this issue and try to figure out what we can do to maximize your recovery. Because unfortunately, there have been situations where a person has a very good, high-paying full-time job, and then they're doing part-time work, maybe just a few hours a week for something that's not nearly as economically rewarding maybe as their full-time gig, and they get hurt at that second job, and it knocks them out of both jobs, at least for a period of time. That can be a big hit. And if you're just stuck with looking at the wages you've lost from the one part-time job, that can be a very, very difficult situation. So don't make assumptions about what you're entitled to. Please, for your own sake, don't rely necessarily on what an insurance company adjuster tells you the law is, or well-meaning friends or family. It doesn't cost you anything except a little bit of time to pick up the phone or schedule an appointment to come in and talk to us, and we can help you figure out where, what your options are and what we can do for you. On sort of a related topic, people will ask, they sometimes are told by, again, friends or family, or just sort of have an understanding that they can receive vocational rehabilitation training as part of the benefits they receive through the worker compensation system in Kansas. So in other words, if they get injured on the job and have to receive medical attention through the work comp system and maybe some compensation while they're off work healing from their injury, and then they'll also be entitled to compensation for the permanent aspect of the injury they sustained. Can they also receive paid retraining basically through the work comp system, so that if you're not able to go back to their job that they've done before because of restrictions and they have to look at switching gears, can you kind of get that education and that retraining paid for? And unfortunately, the harsh reality is, at one time in the state of Kansas, vocational rehabilitation was actually a part of the statute, and it was something that the legislature had specifically said an injured worker was entitled to, at least under certain circumstances. But that is no longer the case. In fact, that hasn't been the case under the work comp statute for, goodness, 30 or 40 years, I think. Now, it doesn't mean that, again, that can't be voluntarily provided by an insurance company if we can persuade them to do that, or by an employer. It just means that that's not one of the specifically enumerated benefits a person is entitled to get under the statute. But again, probably the thing to take away from all this is there are lots of little benefits. There are a lot of very big benefits that a person can be entitled to. And once you've been hurt, you've obviously sustained a physical harm. You don't want to also sustain a worse financial harm or a worse economic harm by not getting everything you're entitled to under Kansas law. And truly, the only way to really know that you're getting everything that you are entitled to would be to consult with a work comp lawyer. Again, here at Accident Recovery Team, we're happy to do that free of charge. It's completely confidential. Nobody knows that you've talked to anybody or have sought any information. So it really is well worth your time. If you have any questions or just want to kind of make sure you're getting everything that you think you should be getting, give us a call, and you can contact us at 267-TEAM, which is TEAM, or 8326. Sean and Norman are my two partners that do car accident cases and defective product claims and things like that. But Todd King and myself are the two work comp guys. We're happy to answer any question we can. If we can't give you the answer to a question, we'll try our best to refer you to somebody who can. And so our goal here is to try to help people get the information and the benefits they're entitled to. So I think that's probably it for now. We appreciate you taking the time to tune in and watch us. Again, be very, very careful outside. It's going to be slick and cold. But take care, and we'll see you very soon again on Facebook Live.